What's up, everyone? Today we're back with another monthly update, and this is going to be for the month of February 2021. Over the last month, we haven't had a whole lot of time in terms of actually being able to come down here and work on the layout, which has led to not a lot of progress on the layout, but has led us a lot of time to actually go ahead and purchase new additions for the layout and think of ideas that we can accomplish over the next month. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and show you the first thing we did purchase, because we do have quite a few of them this month, and go ahead and roll it in here. So if you saw last month's video, you would know that I purchased two of the Athearn Genesis SD75Ms in the BNSF Heritage 2 scheme and the old War Bonnet scheme, and they were both patched out for PRLX. And then I did go ahead and pick up this third one in the BNSF Heritage 3 scheme. I really enjoy this paint scheme. I think it's one of the best paint scheme that BNSF has ever done. I really like the blacked out trucks in the fuel tank, and I think that's a really good look for BNSF, and I really wish they would actually convert the whole fleet to that. But the silver trucks are also nice, and especially once they get a little bit of grime on them, they do get that blackish look. But overall, I think this is a very sharp looking locomotive and will make a great addition to the layout. Up next, we do have the American Limited GATC tank car, and this is in their BNSF fire suppression water car system. I believe this is their second run. I know they made a very similar car, if it's not the same one, and this is their second run, or it's a very similar car, but I'm gonna have to look into that. In that first run, they did the ATSF, Santa Fe. It was mostly diesel fuels, kerosenes, and other flammable liquids. And then this one's a little bit more broad, so I think it's a different car, but they do have more of the Santa Fe hazardous chemicals and hazardous flammable liquids, as well as nickel plate and Southern Pacific and other various commodities. But for this one, it is painted in the BNSF scheme. You can see from the red and the white that it actually looks really sharp. It still has the ATSF reporting marks, but it does have the BNSF new image logo right there above it, and it is decorated in that nice white. Overall, I think this is a really nice car. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a review on it or not, but it does have the roller bearing trucks, which is always a very nice feature on these highly detailed cars. And overall, it looks pretty good. So I'm not sure if this is actually a prototypical car. I would imagine it is, but I do have to go do a little bit more research into this, because I just kind of bought it on impulse when I saw it in the shop today, and they only had one of these left. So I went ahead and just purchased it, and I'm sure it'll look great on the layout. Over here we do have the Tangent Pullman Standard 4750 covered hopper, and this does have that very nice colored paint scheme with the orange as the main body and the black as the accent and the side colors. And overall, I think it's a really nice car. Tangent's done a really nice job of creating a high quality car that also runs well and looks great. They do have the KD58s, and they do have the roller bearing caps, which they added in these past few runs. But this car is decorated in the Far Marco, which I'm not 100% sure at where it's from or where it originates, but I thought it looked cool, and I think it'll look great when you weather it up and really fade down that orange and throw on some graffiti, and it'll be a great addition to the fleet as well. This is the Rapido Gunderson Husky stack, and it is the 53-foot version. It does come with the two containers as shown, and this was given to me as a birthday gift over the last month, and I really enjoy these cars. I got a few of these already, and I really like them. Rapido does a really nice job of making sure these cars have great weight. Their containers aren't the best, but they are good containers, and they actually fill out a train really well. But overall, Rapido did a nice job at making a very well-running Gunderson multi-stack. So I really like this car. They already did, I think this is a kind of a prime for grime scheme. I know that's Athearn's thing, but it is a kind of an off yellow color from that normal TTX. It's coming on the camera as a little bit neon, but in real life it's a little bit more pale, and it actually looks pretty good and a good base for weathering. So hopefully this car can get a good nice weathering scheme, throw on some graffiti, and look great down on the rails. Up next, we do have two brand new releases, and these are so new that They were actually restocking the shelves with them as I walked into the hobby store today, and they were putting them out right as I got there, and they had just received them this morning. And these two cars are the ScaleTrains Rivet Counter Pullman Standard 4785 covered hoppers, and they are in the X Penn Central paint schemes. So you can see on this first car, it did have Penn Central at one time, and it looks like they patched it out, and that patch over paint is fading away. It does also have the Conrail patch up there, and that looks really nicely done. But they did at one point have that green Conrail, or the green Penn Central color at one point, excuse me, and now it's faded into this teal, light blue, light green, and it looks very nicely done. We do have a lot of the patch out work over here for the Robert F. Miller or the Caldwell Baker, and we do have like the specifications of the car changed a little bit or patched over, and we do have the just a really nice job. So they did come out with 4 of these in the ScaleTrains release on their brand new line of the 4785s. They're not new, I think this is their second or third release, and they had 4 of these cars, and I picked up 2 of them out of the 4, and the other 2 besides this one were all pretty similar. They were all a little bit different in terms of patch out work, but you can see here on this car that does have the ghost lettering, where it did say Penn Central at one point, but they do have the safety striping, and I'm pretty sure they'd be towards the end of their service life because it came out in the late 60s. But overall, these cars look, you know, very nicely done, and you throw on some graffiti, a little bit of grime, and these cars are basically ready for, you know, a modern layout, and they're just going to look amazing going down the track. The reason I was in the hobby store was to actually pick up my pre-order of the Athearn Genesis Trinity 5161 covered hoppers. These cars were introduced about 20 years ago in the Genesis line, and they served the Genesis line through several runs, and then finally a few years ago they were put back into the Athearn Ready to Roll line, took some details off, took a price cut, and then finally, to compete with other manufacturers who keep bringing out nicer and better cars, Athearn went ahead and took these back up to the Genesis line, which includes additional details like the roller bearing caps, coupler cut bar, and the airline hose here at the end. And overall, just makes for a nicer experience, especially when you're paying about $40 per car. So this car we do have in front of us is kind of the brand leader of this run, where it does have this prime for grind scheme, where it looks like the car was probably in a wreck of some sort and it got rebuilt, and maybe they just didn't finish the priming on it. But overall, it just looks very nicely done, and I really like this car. We do have another BNSF one right here, and this one does have the patchwork. It's a little bit hard to see. Overall, the main body color and the patch color are very similar, but it does have the truckster, which are an off gray or an off grimy color, and those two look really nice. I did go ahead and pick up a few others. So we do have the 3-pack of the BNSF, and this is the data only ones, so there's not that giant swoosh logo like we normally see on most of those earthworm trains. And then I did go ahead and pick up, I didn't want to take these out, these are such a pain in the butt to take out of the package, so I went ahead and picked up 3 of these, and they actually are the GATX X for the BNSF. So they were bought originally for GATX, and BNSF bought them out and patched them. I'll go ahead and show you that. So I did pick up 3 of these. Those are all really nicely done as well. And then it did pick up one of these, the Southern Illinois rail car, and it is in their prime for grime scheme, so you can see it's got a little bit of patchwork, but overall, you know, another nicely done car. I did also pick up the Ferromex versions of these cars, and I really like the Ferromex ones. I've starting to grow quite a collection of these Ferromex ones, and especially they've gotten very popular where if you don't buy them initially in the start, you won't be able to get them at all, and just it's better just to buy them, and if you don't like them, you can always sell them for basically what you paid for or more, or you can keep them forever and love them, and you'll never find them again. So I do have the Athearn Genesis one, which is this one right here. You can tell by the extra details, and this is one from the older run, which was the Athearn Ready to Roll. So you can tell overall the car body and the major details are all still there. There wasn't any huge changes. Originally these were Genesis, and then they went to Athearn Ready to Roll, and now they're back in the Genesis line. But as you can tell, they're both pretty similar, so if you're looking for specifically one, they're about the same. But if details really matter to you, which they probably should at this price point and detail level, you can see here we do have the air hose, and we do have the coupler cut bar. as well as the roller bearing caps. So you can see this guy has the roller bearing caps, and this one just has the painted ones. But overall, the paint schemes are the same. The etched metal parts are the same. Basically, the entire car is the same except for those 3 little details. And if that matters to you, I would make your decision based off the price differences. These were about $40. I think the MSRP is $53, so it really helps to shop around and try and find a good hobby store that can get you a discount. Whereas these were about $36-ish or so. So it was a little bit cheaper, but if you want to add those details, or if those details are important to you, I would look for the Genesis line. I did also have some pickups in N scale as well. I went ahead and picked up the Intermountain N scale. This is the Gunderson 50-foot high cube double door, and it is in the BNSF scheme. So overall, it looks really nice. It was on sale at my local hobby shop, so I went ahead and picked them up. I've been noticing a lot of my N scale stuff is all MicroTrains, and while that's not necessarily a bad thing, I really enjoy the MicroTrains lines. When I'm running them on my test track, essentially all the box cars look exactly the same, besides the actual paint scheme, and all the hopper cars look exactly the same just because they're all MicroTrains, so I want a little bit of variety. The other thing I did pick up in that sale was the Intermountain. I think this is the ACF 4650, and it is in the like a 3-bay covered hopper in the BNSF, and it's in that nice green scheme. I really like that. But what's nice about this guy is it does have that etched metal walkway and the separately applied grab irons up at the top, which I think is just amazing on N scale. And these cars really set apart from the MicroTrains ones in terms of actually looking very nice rolling down the track. And you can easily point this one out in a group of MicroTrains ones, as well as they do come with the metal wheels, the Intermountain metal wheels, which are really nice. So it is kind of funny seeing the little differences between this car and the MicroTrains one, as the MicroTrains and the Intermountain one are about the same price point for what you get in detail wise, but it's just interesting seeing, oh, this step ladder looks a little bit better on the MicroTrains, but in the Intermountain one, this one's a little bit better. Whereas if you combine them, it'd be a really nice car, but just the little minute differences in the two is pretty interesting to see. The other N-scale purchase that I was able to pick up was this MicroTrains 2-pack of the Boeing Fuselage kit. So I was actually really excited to get this. I've been kind of looking for one for a while, and I really love these Boeing cars. So it does come with the 89-foot flat and the 60-foot flat, as well as the little icebreaker and your mid and rear stabilizer, as well as the parts container in the back, and of course that Boeing 737 fuselage in that nice coating, nice metallic green coating, which I just think these look amazing. And then it does come with the decals, so I'm really excited to try this kit. I know MicroTrains does a lot of these little kits. I have a few of those olive drab military ones that I'm still working on, so this one's a little bit easier and it should go a little bit quicker, but these are really nice cars, and hopefully if I like it, I'll go ahead and pick up the others. But I've been looking for this for a while, and I actually got the time to pick it up, so hopefully we can get it built and get it running on the test track. Alright, so the last thing I wanted to show you guys was a little bit of progress on the N-scale stuff. Overall, I have been working on these TTrack modules, so I do have the Valley one, that's the normal single-sized one. I do have the normal double-wide one, and then do have a normal single-wide one. So these are these Tab Tech ones from CRM Products, so I would give them a look. Overall, I really like them. The build quality is pretty nice, pretty durable. You know, overall, it's a really nice product, actually. I like the laser cut idea of it, and they fit together pretty well. You just have to glue them together. You know, they seem really durable. I would not be afraid taking these to shows, kind of throw them in my truck or something and just driving around. And overall, you know, I think they're really nice. So I have been just kind of playing with the idea, and I want to get these done, you know, as soon as I can, just work on my scenery skills again and actually get stuff going in terms of N-scale stuff, just so that they're not sitting in the cages over there. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do a full layout with these TTrack modulars, or if I'm just going to, you know, do some portions and take them to shows. But overall, I'm really liking it, and hopefully we can make some good progress on these in the meantime. But that's all I got for you guys right now. Not a whole lot of progress in terms of actually doing, once again, another month of just buying stuff and having it stack up. But hopefully we can go ahead and start working on some progress here. I got a lot of great ideas that I've had time to think on and now it's actually time to go ahead and implement them. So I'm really excited for that, but that's all I got for you guys right now. Comment, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And I am going to leave you guys with a cool video of a train I caught going through my hometown a few nights ago. I actually got woken up by my little brother saying, hey, there's this cool train out there that's shooting fire everywhere. So I drove into town and went ahead and got a video. And it was actually a video of a rail grinder. So that was a nice little treat. So I'll go ahead and throw that video up and you guys can see that there at the end. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.